Rayman Legends Retold was announced coming out October 1st, 2026, and some people in the comments asked me for my opinion, so I'm gonna milk the game before it even comes out and tell everything I feel in this video. The visuals are absolutely stunning. Everything is magnificent, there is way more details in the foreground, also in the new 3D backgrounds, but the quality of everything else is also wonderful. I really like the new 3D camera movements, even in the 2D sections. I think that's a great addition. I don't know how it will feel to play, but that's something we'll have to get used to. I saw some people treat this game as an Unreal Engine 5 slop, which I really disagree with. I think people are throwing the word slop around just to have a different opinion from the mass and to hate on something, but bringing the 2D characters of Rayman Legends to life in 3D with a new story, with voice actors, is very good in my opinion. And following a plot will feel better than just jumping from one painting to another. That's something I kind of disliked in Rayman Legends. There was really no story to follow, and the galleries were quite meh. For the gameplay and the physics, based on the trailers and the gameplay footage we saw, the physics appear to be one-on-one exactly the same. We have the confirmation of break boosts existing and also wipe ups, so it's likely that walking pures also exist, but that's not confirmed so far. I don't know if it's a good thing or not that the gameplay is exactly the same, because players who have been playing Rayman Legends for years already and already mastered the tech will have an advantage over the new players, because people like me will already come into Retold while having the knowledge of wipe ups, walking PRs, other strats and whatnot, while the new players will not have as much knowledge as we do. But I think it's fine, there's gonna be enough for everyone. The top players will have their tech, and the newer players will have time to discover them. Apparently they connected one controller to both Retold and Rayman Legends, and the same controller with the same inputs managed to complete the same levels with absolutely no problem. So that also means that most levels are exactly one-on-one identical in physical gameplay. It's not exactly 100% the case, as we saw already in 1-1 Invaded. In the first room there's a sort of wall blocking the top bumper, which if you're a casual player just playing through the game for the first time, you won't really mind because you just take the 3 bumpers anyway. But this cancels the strat that is used in the current world record, so we'll have to see, for example, how to bypass that, which I think is pretty nice to have a little bit of change, so we don't come into the game with 100% of the knowledge and copy the same strat that we have in Rayman Legends to Retold and then have basically the same leaderboards. But I think we'll just have to see for that. The new content is apparently very massive. First off, they removed Back to Origins, which makes sense obviously. They're releasing Rayman Origins Enhanced Edition alongside Rayman Legends Retold, but there is more content to the main game. We have a confirmation of a 6th world being Land of the Living Dead themed, which comes from Rayman Origins, and it's personally one of my favorite. And with the new world comes new levels and new invasions, which means more strat finding and leaderboard battles for the first place in the first few days. Personally, I didn't have the chance to be early enough to Rayman Legends to have the battles and leaderboards with the new strats or new discoveries, etc. So I think it's gonna be really fun in Retold. And the main addition to the game is the new 3D levels, where you're riding dragons between different worlds. If I understood correctly, these levels are the transitions between World 1 and World 2, World 2 and World 3, etc. Which could be interesting for a point later in the video. Retold goes further than just simply moving the camera around, and we now have fully 3D levels where we ride dragons, which I think look really sick. You sort them with 10 teensies, and it's a sort of auto-scroller while dodging obstacles, and if you get hit, you lose 1 teensy. So it's basically levels that have to be completed deathless if you want to get all the teensies, which I think I like the concept of. And I also like what I heard about the difficulty of the 6th world, which is presumably the hardest of them all. Someone said that the levels will be harder than the other worlds, which I really like. I think after thousands of hours of Rayman Legends that the top players are way too used to the levels and nothing is hard anymore, so a bit more of a challenge is really fun. And that's the case especially in speedrunning, because the Rayman Legends speedrunning scene is very small for some reason. I don't think there's even 50 runs submitted on the any percent leaderboard, which is very surprising for a game that big. So I hope there will be more speedrunning competition in Retold. I'm curious about the routing, because unlike Legends, I don't think you can just go from World 1 to World 5 then to World 3, because of the dragon levels that appear to be going from World 1 to 2, then to 2, 3. I don't know how it's gonna work. Maybe we'll be forced to play the game in order, maybe not. We will see how that works. We will have to count on the routers to do a good job, especially with the new mechanic of buying invasions instead of just unlocking them. You have to buy invasions for LOMs, ranging from what we saw from around 600 to 1500 LOMs. I don't know if you can unlock them instantly. That's just something we'll have to see. It wouldn't be fun if we had every single bit of info before the game even came out. The last point about the game itself that I want to make is about the daily challenges. As you may know, in Rayman Legends we have daily and weekly challenges, and they have been supposedly confirmed to be in Retold, but in a different form form. People have been talking about the Cave of Trials and how challenges have been completely overhauled, completely reworked. I don't know what to expect. I'm really hyped about it. I hope it's gonna be good. Maybe there's gonna be different modes, a sort of ranked mode maybe, or something that could facilitate user-made tournaments. This is just wishful thinking. And what is also wishful thinking is Ubisoft actually putting someone in charge of Rayman Legends Retold, a sort of community manager, someone who can listen to feedback, and someone who can delete cheated records, because my god, the leaderboards in Rayman Legends are completely fucked. You enter an invasion, you set a world record, you're 16th, and all the top 10 are 0 second times. You play a challenge and get a world record, you're 70th because people are cheating, and then Ubisoft does nothing about it because the game is from 2013 and nobody works on it anymore. But I hope for Retold that someone will be in charge, that we can have someone to talk to if there are glitches to report, people who are obviously cheating, just feedback, I don't know, something. I hope that we will have some sort of communication with Ubisoft. The very last point of my video is the possible growth of the Rayman Legends community, or the Rayman community itself. For the past few days after the announcement, my channel has been gaining some traction. Not greatly, but it's a good start. I've been getting more views than usual, more watch time hours than usual, a bit more money than usual. For example, my top day before was a whopping 90 cents, and the last day I have data on is 3.5 euro. So maybe instead of YouTube giving me a monthly paycheck of 1 kebab, I can maybe have 5 kebab or something. But what I mean is the game is growing. We have Thor since Rayman Origins World Record getting 15k views or something. The Rayman franchise is in the algorithm, and that's a good thing because small YouTube channels like mine have been putting in effort for years with basically no results. And I think Retold is a great opportunity to maybe grow our channels, to have a sustainable audience of more than 300 views per video. And I hope with the afflux of new people, there will be, of course, more players, more competition, and with that, more player tournaments organized by the community. For example, the Rayman Marathon 2026, which recently happened. If you didn't know, I got the any percent Rayman Legends World Record during the marathon as the last run, which was very epic, but we still came last. That marathon was the first Rayman Marathon in over 7 years, and the announcement of Retold is hopefully gonna bring Rayman Marathon back next year, along other tournaments I hope, organized by the Rayman Legends community or the new Retold community that will eventually form. I think that's about all I wanted to cover in this video, so as a conclusion, I am very positive about Rayman Legends Retold. The visuals look stunning, the gameplay will remain the same, the new content sounds very exciting, and the game might bring a much larger audience to the Rayman Legends space, which I'm really hopeful for. You will see a lot of Rayman Legends Retold on my channel when the game comes out. I will probably be streaming it all day when it comes out, making a ton of videos on it. So if you're new to my channel and came from the announcement of Retold, then subscribe, because I will do a lot of content on it. With that said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.